So has that thought of unfiled taxes been kind of hanging over your head? Well, I've got some really good news for you. In the next couple of minutes, we're going to walk through exactly how you can get all caught up, for free and without all the stress.
Does this feel a little too familiar? Look, life happens. Things get busy, or maybe it just felt so overwhelming you didn't even know where to start. Trust me, you are definitely not alone in this. It's a super common situation, and the best part is, there's a really simple path forward.
And here it is, the key takeaway right up front. You can totally do this, and you can do it for free. You can just forget about those expensive services or super complicated forms. I'm about to show you the most direct, cost-effective way to get this done. Okay, so first things first. Before we dive into any software or start hunting for documents, let's figure out what our actual target is. You know, the whole task becomes way less intimidating when you know exactly which years you need to focus on. And there you have it. Generally speaking, the IRS is mostly concerned with just the last few years. So as of early 2025, we're talking about 2024, 2023, and 2022. That's it. Suddenly, that scary thought of years of back taxes just turned into a very manageable list of 3. See, we're already making this easier.
Now this right here, this busts the biggest myth about filing late. So many people are terrified of getting hit with huge penalties, but get this, if the government actually owes you money, there is no penalty for filing your return late. All you have to do is claim what's already yours.
But, and this is a big but, there is a catch. This is super important. You only have a 3-year window from the original due date to file that old return and claim your refund. If you wait any longer, that money is gone forever. It literally goes to the U.S. Treasury. We could be talking about hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars that belong to you. So, if you think you might be owed a refund, the clock is definitely ticking.
Okay, so now that we know what to file, let's get into the how. And this is really the core of our whole strategy, using powerful, totally legitimate, and completely free software to do all the heavy lifting for you.
As you can see, when it comes to filing prior years for free, FreeTaxUSA is the clear winner. It's really a no-brainer. They don't charge for federal back taxes, which is exactly what we're looking for. Now, your state return might have a small fee, but for federal, it's 0. Other big names like TurboTax will often hit you with some pretty hefty fees for past years, so for this specific job, we're going to want to steer clear of that. And there's another fantastic option, and this one comes straight from the source. It's called the IRS Free File program. It's basically a partnership the IRS has with tax software companies to give you free guided prep, as long as your income is $79,000 or less. It's 100% legit, totally free for federal, and usually for your state return too. And yes, it works for prior years. All right, let's keep the momentum going. Now that you've got your free tool picked out, what info do you actually need to plug into it? I promise, it's probably less than you're imagining.
Here's your simple little checklist. For each year you're filing, you're going to need your income forms. You know, your W-2s or 1099s, a photo ID, and your social security number. Oh, and if you happen to have a copy of the last return you filed, that can be helpful for carrying over some info.
Okay, I can already hear what you might be thinking. That's great, but what if I can't find my W-2 from 3 years ago? Don't even worry about it. That is a super common problem, and there is a simple free fix. Okay, you are going to love this. This is the ultimate time-saving hack. You just create a free account on the official IRS website, irs.gov, and download something called a wage and income transcript. Think of it like the IRS's cheat sheet for your income. It lists every single W-2 and every 1099 that they have on file for you for that year. It's all right there, and it costs nothing. All right, let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. What happens if, after all this, you find out you actually owe the IRS some money? Okay, the number one most important thing is do not panic. Taking action is still by far your best possible move. And here's why. This is so crucial. The second you file your return, you stop the single biggest penalty they have, which is the failure to file penalty. It just stops growing. So even if you can't pay a single penny right away, just getting that return submitted puts you in a way better position.
And remember, the IRS isn't some movie villain trying to ruin you. They have official programs in place to help you get back on your feet. As you can see here, you can set up a payment plan, you can apply for hardship status if things are really tough, and you might even be able to get penalties reduced. But the key that unlocks all of these options is simple. You have to file. Filing is always your first and most powerful move.
So, since we know that filing is the right answer, whether you owe money or you're getting a refund, let's put it all together.
We've covered which year's the file, the free tools to use, and how to handle any outcome. Now, let's just boil it all down to the single most efficient path for most people.
So if you just want the 1-2 punch that's going to solve this problem for like 90% of situations, what is it?
And there it is. This combination is your golden ticket. You use the IRS website to get your free wage and income transcripts, so you've got all your numbers right in front of you. Then you just plug that information into FreeTaxUSA to prepare the returns for free. It is truly that straightforward.
Now, what if you were self-employed, or you had a bunch of different jobs, or your situation just feels a little messy? If using a piece of software doesn't feel like quite enough support, don't worry, there's a free option for that too. Check these out. They're IRS-sponsored programs called VITA and TCE. Basically, they provide free, in-person tax prep with certified volunteers. They exist specifically to help people who have low income, have a disability, or are just confused by their situation. All you have to do is search online for VITA Free Tax Help Near Me to find one.
Okay, the very last step is actually sending these things in. For the current year, 2024, you can almost always e-file it no problem. But for the prior years, so 2023 and 2022, you'll need to actually print them out and mail them in. And here's a pro tip for you. Mail each year in its own separate envelope and send it by certified mail. That way you have absolute proof that they got it.
So let's just quickly recap this simple 3-step journey. First, gather your documents using those free IRS transcripts. Second, prepare your tax returns using a free service like FreeTaxUSA. And third, file them. E-filing the current year and mailing the past years, it's a clear, totally doable plan. So the only question left is this. What if, instead of thinking about this as some chore you've been avoiding, you reframe it? This is your chance to get compliant, to stop the stress, and maybe, just maybe, claim a refund that is rightfully yours. So, are you ready to go get your money back?